thought I'd do a quick little video. Haven't seen this on YouTube anywhere, so I thought I'd throw this out there. This is the up and down for my blade height on my Grizzly 1023 10-inch table saw. This I guess it's just a housing, had broken off from the previous owner. It was in pretty rough shape. I don't know what they did. I guess they just over tightened it to the point that it just finally snapped in half. I'm in a pretty bad location, so I will try to keep it as lit as possible so you all can see it. I think parts and all, I ended up like $20 something. I just had to get this housing, and then there are these two little, I don't know if you can see them or not, but there are two little brass, I forget what they're called. I will put a link for all of these in the bottom in the description, but they go in there. That is what the screw, the lock screw right here tightens into, and then that puts pressure on the housing, and that's what locks the shaft so that the blade will no longer raise and lower. That's how I figured out that something was broken. So I've already got most of this taken apart and put back together. Just a quick tip real fast: put your housing on, then go ahead and put your locking nut in. This locking nut, let's see if I can get this out real gentle without losing the brass pins. I messed up. I put one pin in and tried to take it back out, and the problem was that it went down this shaft. So that locking screw has a point on the end, so it's just got the threads just about 1 inch long, and then you've got a smooth shaft with a point. So that point goes in right here, goes between those two brass pins, spreads them apart, they lock each side, and that's what stops everything. So if you'll screw that most of the way in, then put your pins in, that will position them where they actually need to go. That'll hold them into place. Screw that in until it just touches and starts to push those out of alignment. Now my new piece does not have the little knob that will lock into that little groove right there. It still is the same piece, except it just it's missing this little wing. That was what threw me off when I was trying to order it online. It is the same part. Shout out to Grizzly, their customer service, man. He went through, I sent him pictures, he sent it over to their parts guy. They went through, I mean, he made sure that everything was going to fit. He's the one that pointed out that I was missing these pins. I had already noticed that the hole, you know, that I had that hole there, and I wondered if something was there. The parts diagram, the picture that I was looking at for this one doesn't show those pins, but the one of the others actually does. So the Grizzly customer rep was the one that actually pointed that out. Those little pins, I think, were like $1 a piece. You do need 2 of them per shaft. It doesn't tell you that, it just shows 1 of those, but you do need 2 of them per shaft. So let's jump into this. Like I said, I will try to keep as much light in here as I can so that you can see. this is where it gets interesting. Hopefully with both of those pins in there, they won't slide into the shaft. I did put a little thread lock on each of these screws. Just because there will be a lot of vibration off of this. And that's got that. I don't really use this, but I'll put my little gauge back on there just so I don't lose it. Will get your key back in there. I'll probably block the shot here. This is a Metrics set screw, and it is hard to get to and see. I'll tighten it up the rest of the way here in just a second. All I can think of is the previous owner had just cranked down on that to the point that it just split it and eventually cracked loose. But that should keep it from moving up and down. The issue was that as I was cutting, my blade kept lowering no matter what I was doing. I finally got to doing a little research on it, and that's how I found that the cracked piece was on there. Once again, guys, you know, there it is. You know, that'll cause things to mess up. Shout out to Grizzly. Thanks for all the help. Great tools, by the way. And that's it, guys. See you next time.